Okay, everybody, I'm going to try out this self video and give you some feedback on your first blog post and your discussion. I think I'm going to try to keep my glasses on uh, to read my notes. So, first of all, bravo. You did a tremendous job just jumping in there as I hoped you would do and just try out this new environment. I know, blogs aren't particularly new, and some of these other social ways of digitally connecting to each other. But I'm pushing you a bit to push yourselves. And what I'd like to congratulate you first on is I'm going to go back to glasses here. Is being able to have a variety of articulate views about issues raised in the readings. Like you raised the issues, but you also connected the issues and the content of the readings to personal and professional experiences, whether as a teacher, as a parent, as a first person, being a member of our society. You extended the points raised in the articles to your own questions. And so you now have some, directions from which you can start your own path of learning by working from those questions. You also used a variety of multi-modalities and different media. Quite a few people actually use diagrams. And what else was there? There are mind maps, photos, videos from YouTube, as well as self-generated ones. Different use of open source software such as Prezi and Bubblicious. Very complicated mind map by, I think it was Michelle. Sorry if I gave the credit to the wrong person, of a very, using Bubblicious, very complex concepts and thinking she was representing. Another accomplishment, of course, first it was really exciting, was to hear and see the extent of the conversations that you've already started with each other. Everybody seems to have jumped right in and started exchanging points and sharing and confirming and all the things of a wonderful conversation. So, moving on to some highlights, just sort of selected highlights that you wrote about across all the discussion posts and the blog posts. So there was agreement that there is a need to redefine literacy, and it's not sufficient right now for, in our case, early childhood, and through at least through elementary school. And we need to shift our conceptions as well as the practices that will flow from that new conception. There's recognition of the good, bad, and the ugly of around children with these new digital technologies. Certainly, there are positive experiences that were described about children doing creative and productive things with new technologies. It was a good example of it was a whole class iMovie production project. And there was another example from Danielle, I think, of digital cameras in an early childhood classroom and how the kids figured out a way to use them cooperatively when there were limited numbers of them. There was a lot of concern about the addictive aspects of for young children using technology, and the kind of the ways that it affects their behaviors, particularly if you're a parent and have to live with those. And another theme that I was pleased to see was the questioning of some of the earlier writers in this area, that how their initial ideas were, in retrospect now, quite simplistic. For Buckingham's notion of the globalized child enabled through new media, for example, and Tapscott's ideas of the digital native and digital immigrant. Those are put to rest now. Much more complicated understandings have started to arise in your conversations about the quality of access. It's not, yes or no or black or white. Do children have access to these technologies? It's the quality of them as well in terms of the actual, tools themselves, as well as the quality of the connectivity to the internet, if there is any connectivity. There's the notion of the digital underclass that was brought up. So in replacing the digital divide, and it doesn't just take place between our developed countries and developing countries. It's certainly within our own societies. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, and this was good. In all this new literacy and new exposure to the world and the marketing forces that are coming into play and so on, that all come along with new technologies in children's worlds. What do we do with what we used to think as sort of privileged notions about early childhood and children, particularly in regarding the role of play in learning? And is there an argument for taking the notion of play instead of just limiting it to socio-dramatic play in the real world? Can we also create and nurture the need for play through learning using the digital technologies? So that point was brought up by several people, as well as the need at this age to begin to develop children's self-regulation. How can we do this in context of these very tempting, addictive technologies that are in their world? Okay, and then I'll just finish with the last point because I don't want to keep going too long here. Another theme was good questioning about the insufficiency of the available policy and position statements that are out there now related to this whole new field of early literacy and digital context. The American Pediatric Association espouses, zero tolerance for ages 0 to 2, and how realistic is that? Parents are not going to put away all their digital tools in front of their children, and so and the children are going to absorb whatever they see their parents doing. So it's a tricky time, and no one particular policy or set of guidelines is complete, and we need to rethink how we can best support children in this inevitable new world, but protect them and guide them to meaningful, ethical, and socially responsible uses of their tools that they have available in their world. Okay, thank you. See you Monday night.